Joey Mills here for Sportsman Boxing and Betfred. I'm joined by the man who is going to be challenging for the vacant British Heavyweight Championship at the end of this month against Frazer Clarke. Jeamie TKV, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So, first of all, let's jump straight into it. It's a fight that sells itself in a lot of ways. You're fighting
Of
Frazer
course.
Clarke, British Heavyweight title. It's live on the BBC. These are the sort of fights that you dream about, aren't they?
Of course. And my first headline, first show that I'm headlining, and is a big moment for me, and everyone involved. So yeah, no, of course, there's only fights that people dream of doing. So yeah, I feel very blessed.
First headliner, and of course, you're going to be headlining the first night of boxing back on the BBC in such a long time. What does that mean to
Mhm.
you?
Boy, it's amazing. Like I said previously, it's all about being a part of history, and me being a part of the first fight on BBC after 20 odd years putting myself a part of history. So when people go back and look at the first fight that happened after 20 years, my name will pop up. So yeah, it's a great feeling being a part of history. That's how I'm looking at it.
And we've had to wait a little bit for this history, particularly after you picked up an injury, obviously in the build up to this fight.
Yeah,
It ended up getting pushed back a month. How are you feeling now after that?
yeah, I'm feeling good. Injuries does happen. Obviously, it was the first time I've ever picked up an injury. To be honest, it's not the first time I picked up an injury during camp, but this injury was stopping me from training, and I can't go into a 12 round fight not being 100% prepared. I tried to make it to the fight, but obviously on the advice of my team, they told me and try and get the date pushed back. But I was trying to get to that date, but we got the date pushed back, and it's a blessing. More time to heal up and more time to be ready and better.
Is there a frustration now building in you a little bit? Because obviously you had it all set for the end of last month. That's when you were going to fight. Is
Yeah,
there a little bit of frustration in those fists, Jamie?
of course. I won the fight. It's been since April, which is 7 months. By the time I fight, to be honest, it's already been 7 months since I last fought. So it's been a while. I had a very active beginning of the year, but in between is obviously slowed down. Just not on my part because of I was supposed to fight this person, this fight fell through, and someone else took a different fight, different route. Things happen, but yeah, of course, there's a little bit of frustration, but we're nearly there, so can't complain, but just stay ready and focused.
You speak of that frustration there, and going back to April, there was obviously frustration in your previous challenge for the British
Yeah,
Heavyweight Championship. David Adelaide, we all saw what happened on that night. The referee grabs your arm after shouting break, Adelaide rocks you, and the fight goes on from there. What
yeah,
was it like to lose in those circumstances after such a positive start you made in that fight as
yeah.
well?
I mean, it was annoying because we had a game plan, and the game plan was working to a T. The game plan was to frustrate him early on, break him down. And we started to see that he started complaining and he started making up excuses that weren't even happening. And we was planning to then step it up, but obviously we never got to that point. But the plan was to win the first maybe 6 or 7 very easy, then step on the pedals. But so it was annoying to lose in that circumstance. But everyone saw, and I guess maybe one day we could run it back, and it will probably be a bigger fight the second time around.
And obviously, the British Boxing Board of Control did order that fight up next.
Of
Adelaide
course.
vacated the belt, fought Hergovich instead. Is there any bitterness towards David from yourself for taking that route instead of giving you the rematch that I think most people thought you deserved?
Yeah, of course. Obviously I was pissed off, if I'm allowed to say. I was pissed off, but um, I still remained as the mandatory for the British title, so it wasn't really tough to take, But I really wanted that rematch. I really wanted to make things right, but just like I said, eventually we will circle back. That fight is not done. That rematch will always be there, no matter what.
And did it give you any confidence? Because Adelaide went on to get a lot of praise for the way he fought against Hergovich, even though he was beaten. and you gave him a lot of trouble in Manchester back in the spring.
Yeah.
Does that give you confidence seeing him in there with a world level fighter and giving someone like that trouble?
Look, I know my ability. Obviously, I know not despite whatever, I know I can always do better. And I know my level. So it doesn't. It's not like it gives me confidence. I am confident. I know my capability is all about showing it on the night. And I always say to myself, I can always do better. I'm never satisfied. So it's not like I took anything from it. I just knew my ability, and I know someday soon I'll be at that level competing with them guys.
Now, pivoting back to Frazer Clarke, it's been a very respectful build up between you guys, but those who know their recent British boxing history know there did used to be a little bit of beef there between the pair of
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
Just for
of
those
course.
that don't know, talk us through your history with Frazer Clarke.
I mean, look, I think the beef kicked off again. I mean, Fraser's upset that the fight got pushed back, and he's so upset. He's been coming at me. I've been coming at him. It started a little bit of beef. Like I message him on the DMs, dissing him, and he does the same back, whatever. But that's personal. That the public don't even know that I'm just dissing him and he's dissing me, and we're keeping it like that. But it's become a little bit personal just because it got pushed back. But it all began 3 years. Well, yeah, 3 years ago when I boxed Jake Darnell. He did too. After my Jake Darnell fight, I knocked him out. I put him on his ass, couldn't get up. And then they asked, "What do you think of Jeamie TKV?" Instead of saying, "Yeah, okay, that was a good fight, well done to him," he dismissed me, disrespected me, saying I was a tune-up fight for him after his injury. So I've always felt like that was very disrespectful. So I always called him out. I said, "Okay, if I'm a tune-up fight, fight me now." And uh, and that's where the beef started. And obviously, it did turn personal. He did like Fraser was biting at every insult that I directed at him, and it just kept getting worse. But yeah, man. So the fight does have history. You know, it's more of an ego thing. I'm better than you type of fight. You know, I want to prove that I'm better than you type of fight. So it's more of an ego type of fight, if anything.
Well, you did say back at the announcement press conference that nobody's going to be chucking tables around, but with the DMs flying around, do we maybe have to nail down the tables when you
Yeah,
guys
it might
get to
have to.
Derby?
Yeah. The thing is, he said that I didn't promise no tables would be flying. So you just never know. Maybe a chair this time. Maybe a bottle.
Just we need to watch out for some furniture, yeah?
Yeah.
So the initial date between you guys was supposed to be the same night that Fabio Wardley fought Joseph Parker. Obviously, you guys got moved, but Wardley, your stablemate, went on to score a huge upset over
Big
Joseph
fight.
Parker. A
Yeah.
massive, massive win. What was it like watching Fabio's big night?
Very encouraging, man. It made me get up and start shadowboxing. That's how encouraging it was. It made me very motivated. It was great to see, man. It made me so happy. Yeah, man. Fabio, a special fighter, and he keeps proving it time and time again. Yeah, doing well.
And obviously, you guys, you trained together. Have there been many sparring sessions? And if so, what were those spars like?
I've been sparring Fabio even before I was at Ben Davis and he was at Ben Davis. And so, as you know, Fabio comes down with his coach Rob. So he comes down and gains some extra technical knowledge from Ben, breakdowns and stuff with Lee and stuff like that. But I've been sparring him for years, from since 2020 or 2021. And the spars are always great. Like I help him for his fights, he helps me for my fight. He helped me for the Adelaide fight. You know, I helped him for the Justice Hooney fight. Yeah, we just help each other out, and the spars are great. I'm not gonna lie to you, the spars are great. As you know, Fabio likes to come for a scrap, and the same you see on fight night is the same in the gym. You know, he's always ready for a scrap.
And obviously, all the talk about Fabio is about that incredible power that he's got that's taking guys out left, right, and centre. Now,
Yeah,
obviously, a spar's a spar, but where would you
yeah.
rank Wardley in terms of the fighters you fought in terms of power?
Do you know what? You got people are doing in the ring. You can do whatever in sparring, it don't matter. But if you it's what you do in the ring, and this guy is knocking people out in the ring, and that's all that matters. You don't have to knock people out. You don't have to hurt people in sparring, but if you're doing it in the ring, that's all that matters. And I feel like his power is impressive just because he's turning it up on the night and he's laying people like it's funny to say, no, not funny to say this, but he reminds me of George Foreman. The reason why I say that is because George Foreman, many people don't realize he actually got to the Olympics and won the Olympics only after a year of boxing and then quickly won the world title. That's exactly what Fabio was doing, literally not having a long amateur career and going on and doing big things. So he really reminds me of George Foreman and the way his power carries over on fight night. Boy, he could be as much of a big puncher as George Foreman. So yeah, I feel like he'll be a part of history for one of the biggest punchers in boxing someday.
And how do you think someone like Alexander Usyk matches up to that sort of power? Because he hasn't really fought anyone that hits as hard as Wardley. He's fought a lot of skilled guys. Guys like AJ obviously punch hard. Dubois too.
He literally has a chance to knock out Usyk. I personally think he has a puncher's chance. For me, Fabio actually has a puncher's chance, and if he's able to hurt Usyk, I can see him. I can see him staying on top of Usyk and actually stopping him. I believe in Fabio to actually get the job done. Like his style is very unorthodox, and he's like people don't realize he's very athletic. That Fabio's very athletic, and the way he shots calm and the way he counters is very technical, and he does it to like he does these counters to very good boxers. So I can see him catching Usyk with a shot that might hurt Usyk, and he might be able to stay on top of Usyk. But let's see, Usyk's a special fighter. It's very hard to see him get beat, but I put my money on Fabio to do something.
And we were speaking about it before, but just tell me what's so special about the Ben Davidson Performance Center. Why is it such an incredible gym?
Look, we're no different from any other gym. Everyone works hard the same way, but it's the extra mile that everyone tends to take, not necessarily in training, but in studying fights and working on game plans. That extra mile is what separates certain performances from other gym. Um, but to say that we're different from any other, there's no difference. Just how it's the fact that that extra mile is put in that makes a difference, and we work on so much of the technical and the game plan side and the little things that other people may overlook, like simple stuff like cutting off a ring. Like most people probably walk into the gym and just shadow box and not think anything of it and hit pads and hit bags, and that's getting the grafting. But us, there's a reason why we're stepping left. There's a reason why we feint here because he's going to react this way. He's going to do this. There's a reason for everything that we do, which is why I believe it separates everyone. Like everyone in Ben Davidson's gym, we're separated from any other gym. That's the only reason. But we all graft the same way. We're all boxers.
You were a top amateur in your own right before crossing over into the pro ranks, but a lot of the build up to this fight, people are obviously talking about Frazer Clarke, about the Olympics. Do you think your own amateur record is overlooked a little bit compared to Frazer's?
Of course, but then again, Fraser has been around for time. He's been in the GB team for a while. He went to the Olympics. You got to give him flowers. That's understandable. Like I honestly give him flowers because to get to the Olympics is not easy in itself. Like people, you can't overlook that in itself. So got to give him his flowers. He's been in the GB team, I think, for over 10 years, and he's seen other people take his spot. So yeah, no, not. I guess some people are overlooking me. They are overlooking me, but um, better. I prefer that just because you don't expect too much. See, when you overlook someone and then they perform, I feel like it's better. But yeah, man, look, give Fraser his flowers, man. Olympic bronze medalist is not easy, even just qualifying in itself. So props to him. So I understand that.
Where do you see Fraser in terms of your career? Is he the best fighter you faced as a professional, would you say?
Yeah, I could. Yeah, I could probably say that. Obviously, I don't fight much bums, but um, he's definitely the one with the most like the highest pedigree. In the amateurs, very very good pedigree, Olympian, and I think he actually won a bronze medalist. Sorry, he won a bronze medal in the World Championships, but obviously it got changed over. I was there. I was watching it against the Russian, but yeah, that was some years ago. So he's very experienced, man. He's been around the block.
I think this fight comes at a pivotal time for the heavyweight division, particularly in this country. Anthony Joshua has been out of the ring for a year. Tyson Fury's retired or has said he's retired. So, how important is winning the British title to establish yourself as part of this new generation of British heavyweights coming through?
Of course, it would just put me on top, man. It just put me on top and just carry on working towards the place that I know I can get to. So yeah, man, it's all about improving my situation every year, improving my in terms of boxing in that sense. You know, like next year I want to be fighting for other international titles that will push me towards the world honors, the world level. So yeah, that's how important this British title is for me, the stepping stone, and it will push me to a different level for sure.
And what route would you ideally want to go down to get to that level? Because a lot of people do British, Commonwealth, European. Other people go through the sort of international, intercontinental scene. Which way would you prefer to go if it was up to you?
If do you know what the European route? You know, I think there's a lot of fights there. There's a lot of fights in at European level. Then possibly push on to some international fights, pushing on to world level. You know, but whatever route makes sense because you never know what route actually makes sense until you actually get there. So things change in boxing. People lose, people win, people go above others. So you just never know. So yeah, you just never know.
Now, there's a name in your division that a lot of people have got on their lips, particularly since he knocked out Dillian White in one round. I wondered, as a heavyweight fighter, what's your take on Moses Atoma?
He's a special fighter, man. I've known him from when he was a youngin, man. When he was 11, I first met him. Even then, he was beating up grown men. So I've always known that he was a talent before he even turned pro. I used to speak to him all the time. Even now, he's with us at the gym. But yeah, man, special talent. He's proven it time and time again. Just like Fabio, they're all special talents. So yeah, it's good to see that they're doing well. You know, and yeah, it's going to be a great few years for sure.
And Atoma seems to be someone that they're always struggling to find an opponent for because he keeps knocking them out. If that phone rings next year, are you picking up to fight Moses Atoma?
Nah, we're gym mates. We're gym mates. We're gym mates. We're in the gym together. But I've known Moses from young. I know him on a personal level. It's a bit different with me and Moses. So yeah.
And just finally, I always know what a fighter's going to say when I ask them this, but it has to be asked. Your prediction: how does fight night go down between you and Frazer Clarke in Derby for that British Heavyweight Championship?
I'm knocking out Frazer Clarke. There's no other way around it. I'm knocking him out. I'm putting him on his ass. Don't matter when, but within the 12 rounds, Fraser will be sitting on his ass.
Jeamie TKV, that seems like the perfect note to end on. Thanks for speaking with me today.
Thank you.